Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are still watching The Breakfast Show, and in this segment of our program we will talk about the virtues of Ramadan. How can we receive and welcome this holy month? And we are joined over the phone by Dr. Hassan Waguih, Professor of International Relations at Al-Azhar University. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Hassan. Dr. Hassan, can you hear me? So, yes, Dr. Hassan. Good morning.
Good morning to everyone.
So, Dr. Hassan, also Ramadan is the month of mercies and forgiveness. Can you tell us more about the virtues of this month?
Yes, Ramadan brings with it a lot of values. As you have said, patience, forgiveness. You are talking about decency in dealing with others. When it comes to provocability level,
Yes.
no one is to be provoked, and deal with provocation with the best of manners. So all of this perseverance and the tolerance and developing your stamina, all of these are very good human qualities that
Yes.
should be there for everyone.
Dr. Hassan, in your opinion, what are the negative habits that we should try to abandon during Ramadan?
Yes, actually, we should abandon all what is opposite to the values we have mentioned. When someone is provoking you, try to deal with it in a containment level orientation. You try to be decent. You try to be patient. Patience is very important. And all of this requires very good, the types of good listening, because listening is central to all of this. And it needs a lot of habituation, training, etc. And also, one of the bad things is that when people feel the sense of frustration or despair, Ramadan here comes to remind us with great victories. The Arab Muslim Ummah
Yes.
achieved a lot of victories during Ramadan. Historic events took place. So when you try to recollect this, to recall these kind of events, you feel good about yourself, you feel good about your history. You can repeat these victories in all other domains.
Yes, sir, also if we talk about Al-Azhar and how will Al-Azhar celebrate the coming of Ramadan this year?
Actually, Al-Azhar used to celebrate Ramadan by all means by opening up circles for discussions regarding religious matters, asking people to recite the Holy Quran and remember the seerah, the
Yes.
procession of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a model leader. So people could learn from his behavior. And let me tell you something, during this crisis that the world is witnessing about how to deal with crises. I mean, there were just wars that were launched because when someone is attacking you or have this kind of antagonization towards you, here we have Badr, we have Fath Makkah. And I'd like to say something about Fath Makkah.
Yes,
Because
sir.
all of this happened in Ramadan.
Yes, true.
In Fath Makkah, when the Muslim power was so overwhelming, so they entered Mecca with no fight. But here, one of the companions, his name is Sa'd ibn Ubadah. He said, اليوم يوم المشأمة يوم يذل الله قريش, which means in English, okay, today we will turn the Quraysh into a potato field. We will raise hell on all of them.
Yes.
So the Prophet took the flag from him and gave it to his son and corrected him. And he said, اليوم يوم المرحمة. No, this is the days of mercy and forgiveness. And Quraysh will be put in a very high position that it deserves well. And we will co-live together. And you know, when he went to Mecca victorious. He said, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعرفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. This verse is directed to all humanity. يا أيها الناس, all of you,
Yes.
people from all over the world. The most pious for you is the pious who really go under the guidance of the road of Allah. This is the content, the meaning. So it is for all humanity to behave well. When you are victorious, you have to be merciful. You have to bring people back to the right track. No one is to be humiliated. And I think this was one of the most important lessons for the entire world when it comes to managing crises. So as to have win-win, to have good relations, and to play what we call it in crisis management, variable sum, to bring those who play zero-sum game to play win-win.
Yes. Sir, also, can you tell us about, as we are celebrating Ramadan, the role of Azhar in spreading values of tolerance?
Yes, Al-Azhar is very important. It takes this issue as a very important issue.
Yes.
You have to have tolerance. And there is a very good distinction between the two words, tolerance and the toleration.
Yes.
Tolerance is that I can put myself into the position of the others and try to be sympathetic with them. If they have a good cause, I would support it. But toleration is very nice word too, because if you are not believing in the other, if you are not believing in their values, if they are not in your track, try to do your best.
Yes.
To co-live, try to do your best to live with differences, managing differences, managing multiculturalism, and this is where the difference and distinction between these two words, tolerance and the toleration, and both are good and both are needed. And the Al-Azhar pay special concern to the discourse related to this.
Yes, also Al-Azhar plays an important role in combating terrorism, and we have a branch for Al-Azhar in different countries, many institutions everywhere. So to what extent these institutions contribute in combating terrorism and extremism?
Al-Azhar has been exerting a great deal of effort, by the way, and there is a lot of reform and reorientation in some points where according to the current events and according to what is being raised and according to the crisis that really overwhelms the whole world. So Al-Azhar is dealing with the root of terrorism. It is not only, you shouldn't wait till and you tolerate wrongful attitude. No, you have to be decisive about that, and you have to deal with the root of terrorism from all aspects. And this is a big issue that needs a lot of discussions.
So, sir, what are the Prophet's sermons in receiving the month of Ramadan and teachings?
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Yes, what was the Prophet's sermon in receiving the month of Ramadan?
Yes, the Prophet used to to act as a model for people when it comes to his excellent and supreme behavior, and also he used to ask people to recite the Holy Quran,
yes,
and to do the best and to help the poor and to help the needy and to work hard. This does not, the month does not mean for Muslims to sit down because of fasting, and no, you have to work, you have to do your duties, and this is what the Prophet did and as a model, and everybody should follow that leadership role played by the Prophet, peace be upon him.
So, sir, one final question is one of the most important characteristics of this holy month is the gathering of families during iftar and suhoor. To what extent this affects the relationships among families, and also it is very important for people to ask about family members in Ramadan and emphasize on this the importance of family ties during the holy month of Ramadan.
Yeah, one of the greatest things about Ramadan is you can see what we call it, even Ma'idat al-Iftar,
Yes.
to where people make good banquets for the needy and the poor. Also, it is good for family ties. People would get together. Even in Egypt, we have a very good celebration, a very unique one, when our Christian fellows invite Muslims, and there are a gathering between Muslim and Christians
Yes.
on the banquet of breaking the fast, which is very unique to Egypt.
Yes.
Actually, this is very good to get all these social ties enhanced
Yes.
with
Thank
all
you.
precautions.
Yes, please. So I'd like to thank you, Dr. Hassan Waguih, Professor of International Relations at Al-Azhar University. Happy Ramadan to you and to all our viewers. And by that, we come to the end of today's edition of The Breakfast Show. I'm Sheena Adel, and I was joined today by my dear colleague, Dina Hussein. Thank you for watching.